If you struggle talking about your strengths and weaknesses in a job interview, you're not alone. Keep watching to learn exactly how to talk about your strengths and weaknesses in a job interview. This video is sponsored by ZipRecruiter. If you're looking for a job, ZipRecruiter can help. ZipRecruiter makes it easy to apply for jobs with a single click. You can also upload your resume to their resume database so that your resume is searchable for thousands of recruiters and employers who use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is also free for job seekers. Click the link in the description below to get started with ZipRecruiter today. So, why is it hard to answer questions about strengths and weaknesses? For a lot of us, there's a razor's edge problem. You can boast too much about a strength or be a little too honest about a weakness, and then it can torpedo your whole interview. So, how do you avoid that, and how should you talk about weaknesses in a job interview? The key when talking about weaknesses is to do it in a way that doesn't torpedo your interview. This means talking about weaknesses that most, or at least many people have, and discussing how you're learning from analyzing your weaknesses and telling a story that shows humility, growth, and the ability to change. Crucially, the weaknesses that you list should not be essential to the job. No matter how good of a storyteller you are, you'll find it hard to come back from admitting to a weakness that undercuts the primary responsibilities of the role. Instead, pick a weakness that doesn't relate to the duties outlined in the job listing. This can be something you've already conquered or an issue you're in the process of working on. Just be sure it isn't essential to success. So, if you're applying for a sales position that involves cold calling, don't say that you hate the phone. A better choice would be saying something that isn't a key feature of the job description. For example, you might say that as a people person, you don't do well in environments where you don't get to connect with others. Now, how do you talk about strengths in a job interview? Again, strengths are a tough question. It's very hard to brag about yourself, and sometimes it can be difficult to gain the perspective necessary to understand why your strengths are strengths. One tip we have is to use a Google form or ask friends or colleagues for feedback. You don't need to get into a ton of details here, just ask some open ended questions to see what they say your strengths are. This can give you some perspective and help you answer this question in a job interview. For more tips on talking about strengths and weaknesses and examples of strengths and weaknesses, click the link in the description below. Now that you know how to approach talking about your strengths and weaknesses, you are ready to tackle your next interview. If you're ready to impress the hiring manager with your strengths and ability to learn from your experiences, it's time to head over to ZipRecruiter and find your next opportunity. Click the link in the description below to get started today.